Here is a full character profile for Kefka Palazzo, reimagined as a champion of light. Character profile. Kefka Palazzo, the First Warden. Title: Warden of the Light Crystal, the Harlequin of Hope, the Laughing Paladin. Archetype: the Holy Madman Chaotic Good. Concept: what if the Magitech infusion that shattered Kefka's mind didn't fill him with nihilistic rage, but instead made him a perfect, albeit unstable, conduit for the raw, benevolent power of the light crystal? This Kefka is not a villain of destruction, but a frantic, unpredictable hero of creation. He is the divine jester, whose madness is a shield against despair, and whose laughter is a weapon against the silence of oblivion. Appearance. Kefka retains his iconic, flamboyant jester-like appearance, but the theme is one of divinity, not garishness. Attire. His multi-layered outfit is made of shimmering silks in pearlescent white, ethereal blue, and brilliant gold. The patterns are not motley, but are intricate, resembling stained glass windows or the facets of a crystal. His collar is high and stiff, and his sleeves are impossibly long and flowing, leaving trails of faint golden light as he moves. Face paint. The classic tear streaks and painted lips remain, but they are rendered in shimmering silver and gold paint that seems to catch and refract light. It serves less as a clown's mask and more as a holy war paint. Hair. His blonde hair is still tied back with a large, dramatic feather, but it is the plume of a seraph, glowing with a soft, internal luminescence. Eyes. His eyes are the most telling feature. Instead of being wild with malice, they burn with an intense golden light, the power of the crystal within. They flicker and dance with manic energy, but it is the energy of overwhelming empathy and righteous fury, not hatred. Personality. Kefka's core personality traits, his flamboyance, theatricality, and high-pitched laugh, are all present, but their context and purpose are completely inverted. Manic empathy. The process that broke his mind also broke down the barriers between himself and the world. He feels the planet's joy and suffering with excruciating intensity. A blooming flower can send him into a fit of ecstatic laughter, while the death of a soldier can cause him to weep openly and dramatically on the battlefield. This overwhelming empathy fuels his mania. Chaotic goodness. He is utterly devoted to the principles of life, hope, and creation. However, his methods are bizarre, unpredictable, and often alarming to his allies. He might save a town by turning an entire legion of soldiers into a flock of harmless and very confused doves, or break the siege of a castle by composing a deafeningly loud, magically infused opera that inspires the defenders and demoralizes the attackers. Theatrical and flamboyant. He sees the fight between good and evil as a grand cosmic play, and he has cast himself as the lead. He announces his presence with booming pronouncements, refers to villains as dreadfully written characters with no motivation, and treats every battle as a performance. The laugh. His signature laugh remains, a shrieking, high-pitched cackle. But it is no longer the sound of nihilistic glee. It is a sound of defiant joy in the face of darkness, a coping mechanism for the pain he feels from the world, and a weapon to unnerve the forces of evil. He laughs loudest when things are at their bleakest. Backstory. Before the events of the game, General Kefka Palazzo was the first subject of the Magitech Night infusion process in the Gestalian Empire. The procedure was a catastrophic success. It granted him immense magical power, but shattered his sanity. Consumed by visions and voices, he fled the capital, a broken shell of a man. He wandered the wastes until he collapsed at the entrance to an ancient, hidden sanctuary. There, deep within the earth, rested the last light crystal, a font of pure creation magic that the Empire was unknowingly searching for. Sensing the immense, unstructured magical potential within the dying man, and feeling the encroaching darkness in the world, the crystal took a desperate gamble. It reached out and flooded Kefka's fractured mind, not with order, but with its own boundless, benevolent energy. The light did not heal his madness. Instead, it filled the cracks. It gave his chaos a holy purpose. His fragmented thoughts were now channels for the crystal's will. He awoke not as a broken soldier, but as the crystal's first warden, its chosen champion, its divine fool, its last best hope. He sees his transformation not as a tragedy, but as the universe's greatest punchline. Powers and abilities. Kefka's magic is a chaotic torrent of holy power, often manifesting in beautiful, unpredictable, and devastating ways. He calls it prismatic sorcery. Light of the absurd. His standard attack, a chaotic blast of multicolored light that can heal allies or harm enemies depending on his whim. Hymn of the Crystal. He begins to sing in a hauntingly beautiful countertenor, creating a powerful area of effect that massively regenerates allies and grants them protective barriers. Seraphic Wing, a holy version of Havoc Wing. Kefka sprouts enormous wings of pure white gold light and dives at his enemies, scouring them with divine energy. Merciful Angel, the inverse of Heartless Angel. A column of light descends, but instead of reducing HP to 1, it fully restores a single ally, or himself, and grants them the power of re-raise, at a great personal cost to his own energy. Limit Break, Crescendo of Dawn, Kefka's ultimate ability. He begins to laugh, the sound building in intensity until it becomes a physical force. He rises into the air, the light crystal's power blazing from him uncontrollably. He unleashes a single, overwhelming wave of creation energy that eradicates demonic and undead foes, heals the living, and causes the very land to bloom with life in its wake. It leaves him completely drained and vulnerable afterward. Motivations and flaws. Primary goal, to protect the light crystal and, by extension, all life. He fights to ensure that creation, in all its messy, beautiful, and illogical glory, is allowed to exist. Personal motivation, to turn the tragedy of his own creation into a divine comedy. He wants to prove that even a failed experiment can be a force for good and to laugh in the face of anyone who claims that destruction is the ultimate end. Flaw, unstable. His greatest strength is his greatest weakness. He is utterly unpredictable. His allies can never be sure if he's going to cast a world-saving spell or spend 3 turns trying to teach a behemoth to sing. Flaw, fragile psyche. While fueled by light, his mind is still broken. A significant personal loss or a moment of true, overwhelming despair could shatter his connection to the crystal, leaving him a powerless, weeping wreck, or worse, opening him up to a darker influence. Signature quotes, upon seeing an act of tyranny. "Oh, stop! This is just dreadful. Such a one-note performance. Despair is the ultimate bore. Liven things up with a little hope," while casting a powerful spell. Ahem, and now for my masterpiece, a symphony of salvation, a crescendo of creation. Try to keep up, you dreary little voids. Hate, destruction, oblivion. So last season. The new trend, my dear nihilists, is life. It's messy, it's loud, it's utterly absurd, and I love it. They broke you. They broke me. Look at us. We are the most beautiful mosaics. Let's show them what shattered things can do when filled with light. Life? Dreams, hope. Where do they come from? And where do they go? Isn't it a wonderful, fabulous mystery? Let's make sure it never gets solved, said with genuine, childlike wonder.